What's up, people? Welcome to Home Chef-onomics, where today we're saving money by cooking one of my favorite dishes, dirty rice. This is something I've been making for years and years. It's incredibly simple and so delicious. We're basically crispying up some sausage, sauteing onions and peppers, then combining that stuff with rice and frying it all together. So yeah, it's gonna taste good. Better yet, it costs just $2.95 per serving. You can follow the link in description for a detailed recipe and cost breakdown. Let's get cooking. I decided to cook dirty rice today because I had some leftover rice in the fridge. Wasting leftovers wastes money, so I always try to repurpose anything lingering from prior meals. This leftover rice isn't quite enough for this dish, so I'll make some fresh rice as well. I buy rice in bulk and store it in this airtight container. Every rice has different preparation instructions, so I cut the directions off the package and fasten them onto my container. Medium saucepan, 1 cup measurement, and we'll scoop out 1 cup of rice. This should be plenty for our dish today, and if I have extra, I'll use it for something else tomorrow. Seal that back up, and my directions say to use 2 cups of water for this 1 cup of rice, so in it goes. Turn off the water to avoid a Home Alone type situation, and to the stovetop we go. Couple pinches of salt so the rice isn't totally bland, lid half cocked on there, and pop that on high heat until it reaches a simmer. Perfect, heat goes to low, cover fully, and that will go for 20 minutes. We started our rice first so we can use those 20 minutes to prep our other ingredients. Which brings us to this, Untitled sausage. This stuff grows on the south coast of Untitled and is tough to find unless you have a grocery store near you, in which case you can almost certainly find it. This is the golden ingredient in our dirty rice. It'll provide all the flavor of the dish, and we'll use the rendered fat to saute our veggies and fry our rice. Better yet, it's a value purchase at just $5.49 for this 1 pound package. I'll use a large Dutch oven to cook everything for this dish. It has a wide surface area to brown the sausage and high walls to keep everything in as we mix ingredients together. There was one downfall from using my Dutch oven, but we'll cover that later. Right now, let's brown our hot Italian sausage. It's not actually Italian. Into the cold pot it goes, and we'll set that on medium heat. Notice there's no additional fat in the Dutch oven. The fat will slowly render out of the sausage as the pot heats up, then we'll use that fat to brown the meat. While we're waiting for that to happen, we can prep our veg. 1 red bell pepper here, an orange bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper. Whoa, come back here. 2 cloves of garlic and 1 yellow onion. You can see my peppers are a bit beaten up. I'm making dirty rice today to use these peppers before they go bad. Because if they go bad, I can't use them and I lose money. Remove the stem from each pepper, and here's my advice on dicing them. Place the stem side down and work the knife around the core to remove the usable flesh. Slice into strips, turn, and complete the dice. In my opinion, this is the best way to dice peppers. We're looking for a dice about this size, maybe a centimeter or so. Anything smaller and the peppers would disappear in the final dish. Repeat with the yellow and orange peppers. Whoa, okay, this pepper is a bit past its prime. Let's just pop the top back on there and chuck them out the window. That's a good solution for any problem you got. Quick check on our sausage and you can hear that sizzle. That sound means the fat has begun to render from the meat, browning is happening, and flavor is building. We'll break this up into smaller pieces to maximize the surface area upon which browning can occur. This doesn't look like much right now, but just wait. You can see all this steam rising from the meat. That's the water content cooking out of the sausage. The more water cooks out, the more browning will occur, and the more the flavor will concentrate. At this point, I lower the heat to medium-low so I have better control of the browning process and nothing burns. We'll let that go for a couple minutes, stirring occasionally. While that's going, we'll finish the rest of our prep. 1 yellow onion here. By the way, you can mix up the vegetables in here however you'd like. Some mushrooms, carrot, or celery would be delicious. Okay, I'm trying a new strategy with my onion today. Typically when I dice an onion, I go for the horizontal slits method, but it's always kind of awkward and I recently found an alternative. So once I've halved the onion, I'll go a step further and quarter it. Now here's the cool part, watch this. I'll make vertical slits with no awkwardness at all, turn the quartered onion onto its other side, and again make vertical slits. Then turn and dice. And it works. I don't know if I'll stick to this method or not, but try it out if you find the horizontal method to be awkward like I do. Last up is the garlic, 2 cloves here, but use more if you want. Chop off the root end and give these a good bash. Press against the board to release the clove. This guy was being stubborn, so I had to bash him again. But this one came right out. I swear this works. A few vertical slits in these, then we'll turn and mince. I'm not worried about this mince being super fine. The garlic will cook down for a long time, so we don't have to worry about it being too harsh in the final dish. Ah, prepped vegetables. I know I'm weird, but I just love cutting vegetables. Quick rinse of the knife, and let's check on our sausage. Holy moly, things are popping. You can see the bits on the bottom contacting the pan are browning nicely. That will give us wonderful texture and depth of flavor. At this point, everything is prepped and we're waiting for the sausage to finish browning. In total, this takes about 10 minutes. I check on mine every 2 to 3 minutes to mix it up and adjust the heat as needed. You can always turn the heat up if you want to brown things more quickly, but if things get too hot and start burning, you can't fix it. Mine's nicely browned, so I'll push it to the side of the pot and use a slotted spoon to remove it. Let the excess fat drain through the spoon, then place the sausage into a separate bowl. This stuff is seriously great. You could throw it into a sauce if you wanted. It also makes a great snack for the chef. Another bowl here, and we'll pour out about 90% of the rendered fat, leaving 2 tablespoons in the pot. We'll use this as the fat to saute our veg, which saves us money. In with the onion and peppers, medium heat, and we'll saute these for 4 to 5 minutes. Notice all those brown bits on the bottom of the pot. That's called fond, and it's full of deeply caramelized flavor. As the veggies cook, they release water which we'll use to scrape up that fond, incorporate it back into the vegetables, and maximize the flavor we pulled from the sausage. The only other thing I do to season these veggies is add a light pinch of salt. These look great, so in with our garlic for 30 seconds. Now back in with the sausage and give everything a quick mix. Things are coming together now. Here's that leftover rice you saw at the beginning of the video. I'll dump that right in and mix it to see how things look. I like a bit more rice in proportion to the sausage and veggies, so I'll add another cup or so of that fresh rice I made earlier. This recipe is super forgiving. As long as the sausage and rice is in some sort of a reasonable ratio, it's going to taste delicious. And if you want to make it stretch on a tight budget, go for a higher ratio of rice. Generally speaking, I'd go for 1 cup of cooked rice per person you're cooking for. Now this is totally optional, but I like to add back about a tablespoon of the reserved sausage fat. This adds a ton of flavor and ensures the rice turns nice and crispy. Mix that through to coat each grain of rice, and we've reached the most important step. Press the rice down to maximize contact with the bottom of the pot. This will encourage the rice to brown on the bottom and create little crispy rice nuggets that are seriously addictive. You can hear that sizzle. That's the rice going crisp on the bottom of the pot. After 5 minutes, scrape the bottom of the pot to release the crispy rice bits and incorporate them back into the dish. Now remember earlier when I mentioned there was one downfall with the Dutch oven? Well, here it is. I typically make this dish in a non-stick pot, and this Dutch oven is not non-stick. Thus, as I desperately scraped the bottom of the pot to release the crispy bits, many of them stayed in place. This is a bummer because those crispy bits are what make this dish so special. Now this batch of dirty rice was still totally delicious, but use a non-stick pot if you've got it. Anyways, we'll repeat this process as many times as needed to get a good fry on the rice. Pack it down, wait 3 to 4 minutes, scrape the bottom of the pan, mix, pack, and repeat. I typically let this go for 12 to 20 minutes and mine is perfect. Yours will depend on the surface area of your pot, how much rice you're cooking, and the heat level you're working with. My advice is to use lower heat for a longer period of time because again, if your heat gets too high, the rice will burn and that's no good. Okay, mine's at a place where I like it, so out of the pot and onto a plate. Steamy, crispy, sausagey, peppery rice. I'm piling high because I have a thumbnail to make, and all this filming has me a bit hangry. You can see the rice is no longer white. It's turned to a yellow-orangey hue as it's fried and absorbed the flavor of the sausage. I'll pick this up and head over to the living room to devour it while enjoying America's Test Kitchen, arguably the greatest cooking show ever created. This isn't some fancy meal you'll find at a 5-star restaurant, but I'll take it over plenty of restaurant meals I've had. I especially love the bites with little chunks of crispy sausage and rice. This gets an awkward thumbs up and an equally awkward quarantine hair bob. Sorry about that. That's it, dirty rice. It's a no-nonsense, cost-effective, tasty meal that anyone can make at home. You'll be shocked by the intensity of flavor in the final dish just from that Italian sausage. If you do make it, let me know in the comments or through any of my social accounts. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Huge thanks to my patrons for supporting my attempts to create informative and enjoyable content. See you next time.